Just no gifts, please. The parenting podcast where Jenny and Chando wears the same outfit. We the illusion that we are here multiple days, not shooting episodes all on the same day. I'm in the same shirt,
batching,
too.
like working for like 10 hours one day and then just letting the podcast roll for months and months. I was like, I forgot to change my shirt because I do like to bring a different, mostly because when it lines up on the Instagram feed,
yes,
you don't want it to be all the same outfit.
Yes.
It just, people are like, I already saw that.
Speaking of which, I see sometimes on people's Instagram feed, like on their grid, the grid in itself creates one large photo together.
Yes.
I don't know. How is that?
Outside of our pay grade.
Outside.
Yeah,
It's
but isn't
outside.
it gorgeous when people do that?
I do. But does that also involve, let's just say it's 12 pictures to make that happen? Do you have to individually post each of those 12 things first, and then is your feed really boring because of it?
You're getting like 2 likes on the thing that's like a corner of a sleeve or something.
Like what's going on there?
Yeah, I think that probably messes with the
These
algorithm.
are the problems that we have to deal with.
Yeah, and the thing, I mean, I really don't, I love Instagram, but I don't put a lot of, I'm sure it could be more successful.
Me too.
I just don't put a lot of
I'm
thought
too
into
old.
it.
And TikTok, I don't
age.
even like. People are like, I see your stuff on TikTok all the time. I was like, you see other people post my stuff, but like I can't. It's too. I honestly, when they're like, we may outlaw TikTok because of the Chinese, I'm always like, yes, please do it because I'm not in there.
I love that.
I'm rude. And Twitter, I don't even do. I mean, years ago,
everyone's mean on Twitter.
Well, I got
It's
locked out
political.
like in 2018 and just haven't been back.
For what?
Nothing. I forgot my password. And like, you can't get it.
shoot.
You can't get access to Twitter help unless you're on Twitter. So how does that? And I was like, I'm just
You're
giving up.
done.
And also, people are mean. Like
They're also
there's
mean.
no
It's so
there's
political.
no depth
I'm
to
not a
people's
fan.
even back then. There's really no depth to people's profiles. So I feel like they feel like a lot better to be mean.
Instagram's the best. It's my favorite.
The other thing I don't like about Instagram is the lack of links, which I thought I was like, oh well,
No, swipe up.
Threads.
Look at
In your
stories.
story and all that stuff, but then it's like link in bio, blah blah blah. Like, just can we just put it in the thing? Well, like Threads, for example, which has been a total waste of time. Let's be honest.
Totally.
Are you doing
I'm
it?
so
I'm
so glad that I did not invest heavily in Threads because
Yeah,
it's kind of like nobody's
It's Instagram with
nobody's
links.
talking
So why
about
don't we
it.
just add links to Instagram and be done with it? Why do I need yet another platform with
I
the
know.
same people?
I know.
It drives me nuts.
Would do TikTok. The only reason I haven't done TikTok is because I am highly likely to become somebody that just spends her whole.
Do you know who
time dancing.
loves TikTok?
Who?
Loves TikTok?
Who?
Doug.
Oh,
Not to create content. He's an absorber, a consumer of
real
content.
like when.
Like
he has a very
before
busy,
bed,
big
like
man job.
He does. He has a very adult job.
I mean, because it's like our jobs are adult jobs.
Yeah, but I mean, but part of our job is being on social media.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So we need to know about it. So interesting.
Yeah,
So
there's
just, like,
nothing in the
instant time.
banking world that says like you should, you know.
need to be on TikTok. So he doesn't want to create a
Every night
dance to Beyonce's
Every night
song,
before bed,
right?
when he goes up to brush his teeth, within 5 seconds of him being up there after the boys are tucked in, if he's VP booked that night,
Yes.
I will get a text because he's sending me like whatever TikTok he's watching in that moment.
Isn't that
And they'll
sort
be
of
like,
a fun thing
he
about a
loves-
relationship
right.
is sending each other TikToks back and forth or Instagram?
I mean, I feel like I don't have much to contribute because I don't consume
So
the
it's
TikTok.
just him sending them
but
to you
it's
and
mostly
like
him
waiting for you
sending
to
me
laugh.
Stuff, right? I'm sending things like, let's do this to our house, like that kind of.
Oh, that's
stuff.
productive.
Although speaking of waiting for me to laugh, so somebody had sent us one on a group message, and I wrote back, LOL. He wrote back, no, he didn't. I'm sitting right next to him.
That's so good.
I'm like, you're the worst.
Because how often do you really LOL when you say LOL?
I often do.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now that I think about it, I don't
Like
think
if
I've
I'm-
ever said LOL
If
to me, so I
I'm,
guess I haven't.
I will express greater laughter in a more, like if I'm more of a, if I'm not really LOL, like I'll give you like the double tap, haha, or like that's my,
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I mean? Like on text or something like that.
Okay.
We've gotten way off. Way off.
Way off.
Oh,
well,
hey,
we
speaking of-
originally were going to have beef with the Girl Scouts.
Well, we'll get to those in a minute. But first, I want to talk about, we didn't follow up. We talked a couple weeks ago that we were throwing
Yeah.
a birthday party for Jacob.
Oh,
Whenever
yes.
I would like to give a shout out to this place because it
Okay.
is a not-for-profit art installation / playground. It's called Spark in Dallas. And I know you haven't been because Heath brought Brighton. It was
Right.
so
Not because
cool.
I'm not involved, Mom,
It was
but because we had
because you were very
6
involved with your
week-old.
other baby.
Yeah.
It was so cool. They have that like little QR codes and everything to tell you about the artists, and they have like overlaying art installations, and the slime activity went well. And I will say, remember, I was like all up in my head about like the count and how many people.
Right. And
Because,
how'd that go?
and well, because I will say that like people came and they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna stay a little while, like with because then the siblings have another party, and like so at one point there were like a lot of parents there and a lot of kids there, but like not all of them were hanging out the whole time, whatever. And the people that smart couldn't have been more lovely. In fact, at the end,
they weren't like, "Yep, we're charging you half for this one," or "This
like,
dad stepped
at the
a foot
end,
in."
I went up to them. She was like, "Okay, great. I hope you had a great time." And I was like, "I think I owe you some money because I had
People stayed,
a couple extra kids, or some parents or whatever." And it was really cool. It was really, really cool. And the best part about it is that not one of the kids, including my own, had ever been there before.
I agree. That
is cool.
That you knocked it out of the park with that. Brighton had such a good time.
Yeah.
Heath had so many great things to say about it. He didn't mention that there were art installations or QR codes. So I guess
the whole the play structure, I think is made by like different artists or artisans, or because it's all like welded and like really interactive and cool. Like there's like tunnels through the walls and like it was really, really cool.
This is such a pro tip for birthday parties, because I think all of us,
we were the only party there.
We recycle the same birthday party ideas over and over.
Which is nice, but like, I mean, how many times are we going to Urban Air?
I mean, a lot.
A lot.
Actually, a lot. And I do love it personally.
We just took Jacob on Saturday. We're like, what do I want to do? He's like, I want to go to Urban Air. It was his birthday.
They love it.
We're like, okay, let's go.
They love it.
Well, and I love it because they're exhausted.
Did he enjoy the party?
He loved the party.
What do you think?
Yeah, so the party was great. He enjoyed it. The kids liked the slime, the whole activity. It was cool. It was nice.
And it's science-based. Slime is science-based in and of itself.
It was like kind of STEMmy.
It's a little reaction.
Like he's right. And the like the play when we got there, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is gonna be enough to keep their attention, and it absolutely was. So, but the only trick about these guys, from what I can tell, is they're open from like 10 to 3 on Saturdays, and that's it. We were there. I think the party was 2 to 4.
Oh, not at all during the week or after school or anything? Okay,
no.
maybe that's why we hadn't been.
Right. Well, and that's why, honestly, I hadn't even seen it until after we booked, because I was like, I've got to get over there, but I could never.
No,
Saturday mornings, I have a bunch of commitments that I have to be at.
That's a hot spot for parents.
Well, especially since so talking about rituals with our families, in our family, that's a ritual. That's my time for me. Doug gets the same on Sundays.
What do you do? What do you prioritize during that time? Like, what do you? I feel like.
Well, the concept is like, no matter what happens during the week, I know that from whatever time in the morning that I want to start it till about we used to base it on nap when the kids weren't young enough to nap, so like 2-ish.
Isn't it sad that they don't nap
anymore?
Oh my
God, it's the worst. I'm like, let's all take a nap. Come on. Like yesterday, Hudson was being a real dick. I mean, let's just,
Hudson.
because
don't say that
he was, because he had been like super active the day before and then got up super early. And then by midday, he was like hitting a wall.
He needed a nap.
And I was like, let's nap. And you would have thought I was like, let's go cut your arm off. And he was like, no. I was like, buddy, I mean, he was in tears in the car. We were going to go Target. I was
Let him cried out.
And then we went home and I was like, let's get on the couch and snuggle and watch a show. And we did. And then he, and then he played in the sandbox. But anyway, so it started with that, where it was like, okay, no matter what happens during the week, for me, I have
can regroup.
I know that I've got me time until 2:00 on Saturdays, and he's got me time until 2:00 on Sundays, where the other dad has the kids, and that's a ritual that's worked out really well in our family. I think that it also, like, knowing that light is at the end of the tunnel each week, also helps a lot with like, oh my God, when am I going to get this stuff done? It's like you're going to do it during your time,
right? Because it could be like a workout self-care day, but also it could be like, I need to run errands, I need to, like, there's something that needs fixed in the house, I need to. Is this also like if you want to hang out with friends, or can that be like?
I mean, I have a Saturday morning commitment, and that a bunch of friends have the same one, and that'll usually, like, so it's a commitment, and then there's usually like a breakfast afterward and that kind of thing. So yes and no, and then also I'm about to work super early at work because Shannon's going to be out.
That's right.
With the baby, so like that also, in a weird way, it gives you that like cracky schedule, which
you're
like,
gonna love it.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I
love doing the show, and I love working with Hannah, and I think that's super fun.
Of course, but like the schedule is the best.
The waking up at 2 a.m. is not the best.
It is terrible.
It's not the best.
But
although the hardest part of do that is between being being horizontal. Being horizontal.
Shoot, we need more sleep.
And being vertical, right? Like, as soon as I get my feet on the ground and stand up, we're good. But
it's
like
really hard
those
to
are some
do.
heavy feet at 2:00 in the morning.
And I'm also saying this as somebody who hasn't done that schedule for
Right.
several years. So I'm like, it's the best.
It's the best.
But I mean, I truly would go back. That's the only schedule I would go back to.
As a working parent, it's not terrible. And they're very kind with me because I, after the show, come home, take the kids to school, and then go back to work, which is really nice. But I will say
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So at 6, when my part of Good Day is over, I'll come home, wake the kids up, get them ready, get them back to school, and then I go back to the office by like 8:00.
That's dreamy.
Yeah. And then I'll just continue working.
Simply dreamy.
Well, because I still have my regular job.
Well,
this isn't like instead
right,
of.
Right.
This
No,
is
it's
like in addition
for
to.
sure. You get a lot done in a day. I'm actually quite amazed by
thank you.
When I see your specials coming up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did he have time to investigate that? He actually was anchoring like all week.
And then the other part of
dreamy.
it that's like a little cracky is like being on like the opposite schedule of the rest of the planet. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
Where it's like, oh, it's noon or 1:00 and you're kind of done for the day and you're kind of exhausted. And at the beginning, like right now, if you were to ask me, I'd be like, okay, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to do it. And then every day I'm going to be at the gym and go for a run and blah, blah, blah.
But you're so exhausted, it's hard to go to the gym.
I'm not going to do that.
I always would sign up for a noon class.
Correct.
So that if I didn't make it, then I was
charged. There would be a financial
and like,
consequence.
yeah. So
it's
like the more expensive the class,
Correct.
the better. It didn't really matter what type of class it was. It was just about compliance and my financial obligation to it, and then occasionally you get called late or there's something that happens. You have to be in the noon show or
there
whatever.
needs to be a penalty.
Yeah.
In order for me to go to the gym.
It's so true.
Generally a financial penalty. That's why I'm motivated. Okay. So what's a ritual for you guys?
So I'm still hung up on I want to have a Saturday until 2 p.m.
You know what? And I will say with some of our friends, they're like, we should also try that.
We will definitely do a split up.
Do you think that that's because but you're a mom-dad household?
I do wonder if there's
a lot of the
stuff
that probably falls under mom.
Like,
it does, happens on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, well, and we always do church together as a family on Sundays.
Nice.
So that's definitely a ritual. I mean, Heath grew up as a pastor's kid, so that was already like so ingrained in him. And then we always went on Sundays, and so
is it like
meshed.
a Southern, like there's like fellowship hall situation afterward with like cold cuts and cookies?
They should bring out some cold cuts. No, and we have like a very there is a coffee shop, but it's not the church with like the fancy for-profit, like really like there's only one flavor. There's just like one type of coffee.
I've seen your church. Let's not underplay it.
No, it's not. But it's okay. It's not. It's not like what's Heath's dad's church called? It's called a.
I mean, it's not one of these like mega churches.
It's not a mega church
through the air,
but it's also not
pageant.
like in a little barn. So it's just it's a
regular
church that has a great Sunday school program, and then Brighton does kids sing. So she loves doing that, and that's kind of part of her routine now that she's older. She gets to perform with the choir, so that's fun. And then we used to do a small group, but I mean, once I got pregnant, I was just like, I can't. It's like you're working all week, and then I couldn't be firing on Sundays too. So we don't do that anymore, but we will do like if I have a thing, then I'll block it out in the calendar, and then he knows, then that's on him.
Isn't that funny? Like we didn't sync up calendars or like have a common calendar until we had kids.
Oh, neither did we, but we also had Brighton like
5 seconds after you got married.
Yeah, exactly. Like with 10 months afterwards or something. So it happened quickly where it was like, okay, we need to figure out our schedules and things like that. But then also our ritual is me cooking dinner every night.
Is that a ritual for? You're still not over that, huh?
No, I'm still not over that.
I too. Speaking of which, what are you making tonight?
Let's see. We had breakfast for dinner last night. Tonight we're having, which is like my favorite because it's so easy.
We do it on Thursdays.
Everybody's happy. Yes. Right? Like everybody likes it. Yep. Nobody's mad about it. Tonight, I'll usually start off the week with like the grossest, healthiest meals and then work down from there. So like Monday is always like salmon, or tonight we're having cod with broccoli and asparagus because I want asparagus. Heath doesn't like it. And then like cut up potatoes.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
Baked, like little on a pan or whatever. And then it'll kind of slide where we'll do like pasta with a meat sauce tomorrow. Wednesday's a free for all because Brighton, we won't get home from cheer until 8:00. Thursday will be like maybe leftover pasta if we have any, or like something frozen-ish. And then Friday, Mexican. We always get Mexican food every single Friday.
We just started doing Pizza Fridays, and I'm like, you know what? Game changer.
It's so great.
Like the problem is that I also am like, oh, I should, and it's like, no, you are almost 50. You cannot eat pizza once a week and then macaroni Sundays.
Wait, so what do you have? What will you?
So we'll do, so like tonight, so we've started Taco Monday, which let me also like qualify that by like Taco Monday in our house. So Jacob, like it's like plain chicken in a plain tortilla with maybe some cheese. Like there's
You're not like putting a little
like I did like taco seasoning and he was like, it's so hot. And I was like, you are my son.
Yeah. Oh no.
So like we'll do that and then like I'll maybe shred up some of the chicken the next day for like salads and stuff. Because Doug and I try and do, and Doug is way better at it than I am. He's a very healthy eater. But we do Tuesdays is Doug takes to my mother-in-law's. Thursdays is breakfast for dinner. Wednesdays, I forget. But I've just recently, especially since Doug's job change, where I am VP dinner every night.
It's such a brain suck.
That's the part.
It's like not
It's not
hard.
the cooking. It's just tell me what to make and I'll do it.
Figure it out and making sure you have all the ingredients
speaking
for
of the brain suck, so one of the things, I don't know again if this is like a girl guy thing, but I have noticed, and I'm feeling a little gypped here, being in a not heterosexual relationship, that do you do this with Heath? Like I see like another school dad. I'm like, oh, that's a great suit. And I'm like, oh yeah, my wife got it for me. Like my wife. Do you pick out his clothes?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you really?
No. Well, this is not so much girl guy. I think this is getting married younger versus older. My friends who have been married, got married
of these
in their
straight
20s.
Guys whose wives pick out their clothes.
They really do. But when I met Heath, I mean, he was a professional who had like an excellent wardrobe with
does have a good wardrobe,
custom suits, great
wingtip shoes. Yeah.
I mean, really gorgeous tie collection. But it has slowly transitioned to like I'll buy his clothes. I think it's super fun to buy his clothes. I love it. It's like a little like dress up Ken doll. He's easy to fit. He's easier. Like guys, I think in general, or maybe at least Heath, is very.
This is your size.
It's off the rack. It's your size. It works. It fits. It always looks amazing. So I love buying clothes for him. But I do think I guess that's true. Like I guess you and Doug both have to buy your own clothes.
Correct. Nobody's picked. When I anchor with Shannon in the mornings, she will text me the night before, like what color dress she's wearing, and I love it because I know. I'm like, great, you're wearing green. I go right for a green tie, and I backtrack. I back out of it. From in terms of okay, now here's the shirt, here's the suit. I'm like, this is what it must be like to be straight. If I don't
buy Heath like even underwear, like he'll have holes in his underwear. I don't know that he knows. Like I don't know how he did it. We've only been married for
there was a
7
point
years.
At which Doug, like I had one of his credit cards, and he was like, "Look, if you're out and you see something that because he wasn't into buying clothes. Now he orders a lot online. Like he buys a lot of his clothing online, because everybody delivers now, right? But like at the time, I'd be like, okay, cool, and I would buy something like
yeah, that's fine,
and whatever. But I don't go to the mall anymore, so like that's not a thing. But I would love. I mean, you're welcome to pick up my clothes for me if you, particularly my work clothes.
Have you ever gone to the suit lady that Heath has gone to forever?
I am incredibly cheap.
No, it's very. I mean, I don't buy. His clothes have more value than mine do. Well,
not shoes.
Maybe like shoes and bags. Like shoes and bags, it might sort of, even out. Jewelry, like that sort of thing.
Closet.
But clothes, just regular clothes, I have a hard time spending that much money on. But now he's in this new mode, and I don't know if a lot of other people are like this, kind of like, I don't know if it's post-pandemic or because he changed jobs or whatever, but now he'll wear like his Jordans and then like Lululemon pants and a polo shirt as opposed to a full suit.
Oh.
Or
like
maybe it's
cool boss guy.
Like cool boss guy. I also think it could be because now that he's older, like when he started out doing insurance, he was at 21 trying to seem 35.
Right. Like when you're a young journalist and like you're wearing like the Jacqueline Smith collection from Kmart.
Senior citizen. Right. I mean, I look like a true senior citizen.
With like a bow around your
neck.
I've
always looked 40.
Right. Like that you're wearing your dad's suit. Yeah.
Yes.
Although I will say for Doug, with his, I mean, it's not really a new job anymore, but like he is like total suit jacket guy every day with a
Ooh,
little
how
hanky and the
handsome.
whole. He looks so handsome when he leaves for work in the morning, and I love that he is totally embracing this. Like, and the other people at his
Meanwhile,
office
you have
apparently
basketball shorts
do
on with a
not
blazer.
exactly. I'm like, I mean, I'm naked from the waist down right now. But the people at that's not the corporate culture of his office. Apparently, people are like he'll come in like on a casual Friday where you can wear like logo wear, like you wear a
Yeah.
polo, but it has to be logo wear. And they'll be like, "Oh, what happened to your jacket, Mr. Suit and Tie?"
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
totally.
So he went in there like in boss mode.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, he's not.
Well,
I mean, he's over his department, but yeah,
just boss mode, like not that he
I
has
love it.
lots
I'm
of
like,
just,
good for
you
you.
know.
I mean, he looks. I mean,
Maybe you should start buying him clothes, and then he'll start buying you clothes.
that will never happen.
Really?
He doesn't have the time. I don't think he has the time
The
for it.
desire.
Or the design. He's busy. He's VP like air filters.
That's
and like
true.
he was yesterday was a beautiful day, and he's out there like, I don't know, blowing and weeding and.
Isn't it great to have somebody do that?
Yeah.
Like I know, it is different. What the wives do, I guess that you do that you don't realize that like nobody else is gonna do it. Like who puts gas in your car?
Does he put gas in your car?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like Oprah Winfrey where I'm like, I've never pumped gas before. But generally speaking, he is VP
sweet.
car. Yeah.
Wait a minute. But does he drive your car?
If he's putting gas in it or
Wait a
getting
minute.
it cleaned.
He will wait a second. He will on a random day go out into the garage, get into your car, take it to get washed and cleaned, and then bring it back.
I also think it's a bit of reprieve for him.
Like to get out of the house.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it, but he's also like the baby's screaming and my car's like not out of gas. And he's like, I think I'm going to
go fill her up. I gotta top her off.
Yeah. I'm like, I haven't been anywhere.
That summer blend.
All I've driven was to do the podcast with Steve a month ago once. And I haven't left the house since then. He's like, I think just in case of emergency. But yeah, he does do that. And I order him his like undershirts and underwear.
You know, it's funny. We were talking about the school fundraiser that we went to recently, and like a lot of the moms were like, "Yeah, I picked out whatever." Which in that situation, I feel like there is a lot of like, whatever. But like all of the dads totally leaned into it, which I thought was really, really nice.
That they were up for.
Totally, 100%.
That is fun.
Yeah, everybody was like super into it. I mean, like wigs and glasses and like. Like,
did anybody have the same outfits on?
A couple of the women
went to Amazon or whatever.
Yes, a couple of the women, but like. But not like oh, you're wearing like you stole my look kind of. I mean, everyone was
just like you look cute and I look
everybody
cute.
Everybody looked great. Yeah.
Did you guys raise a lot of money?
I'm
sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Okay. Well, yeah. I
surely.
feel like
surely you did.
Are we gonna? Well, remember I told you that
I wasn't gonna ask you the amount. You don't have to say the amount.
Do you remember that? Well, I'll give a general idea here because I don't know the amount yet. But do you remember I told you like so? One of the things that I think our school does really well is so during this auction there are items that are donated, like physical items, experiences, gift certificates, shopping.
Yeah, somebody has a cabin in Broken Bow.
Correct.
And,
right, like dove hunting in Argentina.
Yeah, or dove hunting in Argentina.
I mean, trust me, like there was like, oh, there's our chalet in the south of France is open this weekend. I'm like, okay.
Steve's like, you can come over and jump in the pool.
Seriously, like you can, right. But one of the things that they do, and I don't know if they do this at your school, they do a ton of school-related things that don't cost any money. Like
it's the best.
Name the cafeteria, pick out the lunch menu, be the principal for the day. But the coveted spot, there are 3 24/7, 365 parking spots.
Yes.
Right in front of the school.
Yes.
Right in front of it.
So good.
And my dream this year was that and there's like a sign, like they manufacture a sign that'll be like, and like Enchando parking only 24/7, and everybody abides by it.
Yep.
I mean, there are no whatever. And
people will sooner park in the handicap spot than they
will not
that
piss off
spot.
Whoever. Right. And I was like, I think that's gonna be like we're gonna.
Was it auction or raffle?
Auction.
Oh, and
auction. I had a threshold in mind. And it went there's 3 of them. Each of the 3 of them went for went for 3 times what my threshold was. And my threshold had 4 digits in it. Okay. Like this was a 4-digit threshold.
It was a legit threshold.
It was a legit, but like,
hey, I'm sorry you didn't get it. That stinks.
You know what though? But like they again, 70% of our tax money because of redistribution, goes to other districts. And that's great. I mean, it's nice that, you get to kind of like, rising tide, rises all ships kind of situation, right? And that all kids have a better opportunity. But the nice thing about fundraising, as you know, for your school too, dollar for dollar, whatever you raise stays where it is. So we don't have to give it away to anybody, right?
Sure. So it can be something specific. We're raising money for a new gym.
Oh,
so
really?
That's like the big.
They do also
right
like an art show at school, which apparently 90% of our art budget at school is from this art show, and every kid in the school makes like a self-portrait. It is the cutest thing.
And then their parents buy it.
They frame them all it looks like the gym is like an art gallery, and you can prepay or you can buy it there. And they even like like when you go to an art gallery and something's purchased, they have like a little sticker that they put on, like a little red circle. So like all this stuff that's bought, whatever. And I mean, it's like $25 or $30 or whatever it is to buy your child's self-portrait.
Okay, I was like, is this also 4 digits?
No.
Is this you're saying, Jacob, just make it at home? Just recreate.
I will hire an artist to paint a picture of you. But it's super cute. And like, I mean, you figure there's, 500 kids in the school. And if everyone's throwing in $25 or $30, that's, or $35, whatever it is, it's super cute.
Plus the emphasis on somebody paying money for something that you do, even if it is your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa.
Well, and there's rules. Only the parent can buy the original. You can get a print. Grandma and grandpa can buy a print if they want. But only mom and dad and whomever your parent is can buy the original.
I think that's a nice confidence
it's super cute.
builder
it's
too.
So cute.
Like
I love it.
Sold my art and it was on display.
Yeah. He wanted to be teacher for the day.
I bet that was a big
ticket. So which I didn't even realize that he knew about it. So we
our kids are heavily advertised to. Breton came home with a tattoo about the auction, said, "Hey, you can win you can win a diamond bracelet if you go buy this.
Scan the QR code on my arm, Mom." He was like, "I'd like to be teacher for the day," and I was like, "Okay, cool." Again, I had a threshold.
Oh man.
And I was like, "Okay, that."
Well, you're like, I guess you're just going to have to go to college and become a teacher if you want to become teacher. Well, I'm glad that you contributed by having the most fashionable
I feel like
outfits,
I've totally
though.
hijacked the this
Oh no!
episode,
I mean, look, we talked about our rituals. I'm now once we're out of the baby phase, I think Heath and I will go back to that sort of like you take some time off, I take some time off, that sort of thing. I mean, I feel like as couples go, we have a very even workload. I'm not one of those that's like the martyr mom running around like my husband's on the couch watching football all week, that sort of thing. But often I'm going to a lot of the things just because I want to be there and I want to watch.
100%.
Like I want to watch practice. I want to just like see how she's doing, see how she's reacting, making sure that we're in the loop and everything. So it's not like, oh, poor me, I'm all over town. It's
but when you couple that with the things that like physically or biologically you have to do, like like you were saying that, Gemma sleeps through the night, which is great, but you still have to get up and pump. So like Heath can't do that for you.
Precisely. And honestly, like if he could, he would. I think he legitimately feels bad. He's always like, why don't you just sleep through this one? And I'm like, because if I don't, it's like a supply and demand thing. There won't be enough. And there's obviously we've got formula. There's lots of good ways to feed a baby.
I mean, couldn't you just lay
just
there
that this
and
is working.
Put the things on you?
That's exactly what I do. And I always think, is this like, it's also, I mean, some of it, it's like, this is your husband. Like, I just, you still want to have like some romance and intimacy. And if I'm just sitting there with this pump on all the time, it's just like not the best look. So sometimes I just lay there with the pump and sometimes I'm like, have some dignity and go to the other room and watch Real Housewives. It's also kind of fun to get up and watch TV in the middle of the night.
Oh my
honestly.
God, yes.
Eat some popcorn, pump, watch reality TV. That's my new ritual.
There you go. All right. We hope your new ritual is joining us each and every Tuesday for a new episode. Remember, we drop 7 o'clock every Tuesday morning. You can also find us on YouTube if you're just interested to see Jenny not changing her clothes. I mean, that's always fun, right?
It's the same dang outfit.
But we are available on your favorite podcast platform. So please join us. Click link, click subscribe. And if you do nothing else today, go find yourself a friend you don't need to clean the house for. We'll see you soon.
I think that came out wrong. Not with her changing her clothes.